Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that gets a pretty bad rap, data cleaning. It's usually brushed off as this tedious, boring chore, right? But we're going to completely reframe that today. Because the truth is, it's the absolute foundation of truth for literally any AI or analytics work you do. We all love to obsess over the flashy new models and the gorgeous final dashboards, but the reality? That behind-the-scenes prep work? That is the real 80% of the job.
Okay, let's set the scene. Imagine you're sitting at your desk, and you've just spent hours, honestly maybe even days, crunching through 100,000 rows of data. You've painstakingly obsessed over every single metric, you've built this absolutely stunning, colorful dashboard, and you confidently stand up to present these brilliant findings to your manager. You're feeling incredibly proud of yourself. And then, the absolute nightmare scenario happens. Your manager squints at the screen, points at a chart, and calls out a massive, glaring discrepancy. The numbers are just wrong. In that sickening moment, you realize the original data you based everything on was a total mess, meaning all your hard work, your beautiful charts, your bulletproof conclusions, completely incorrect. Why? Well, because the foundation was totally flawed from the get-go.
Which brings us to cooking with bad ingredients. You have to start thinking about data like a physical material you're working with. Just like a master chef wouldn't dream of using spoiled, rotten ingredients to cook a Michelin-star meal, you just can't build a reliable analytics dashboard using dirty data. It really doesn't matter how incredible your oven is or how wildly advanced your AI tools are. If you put garbage in, you are guaranteed to get garbage out. You're basically trying to bake a cake with rotten eggs.
And this sets off a complete chain reaction of disaster. It all starts at step 1, with dirty data, which directly causes step 2, wrong analysis. That forces step 3, building a wrong dashboard, which inevitably leads to the most dangerous part, step 4, leading your entire company to make the wrong business decision. One single data error up top cascades into a massive real-world failure at the bottom.
So, we need to talk about 4 common data disasters. Knowing exactly what these rotten ingredients actually look like in the wild is absolutely crucial.
The first major disaster to watch out for is missing values and blanks. You're scrolling through a massive database, and suddenly, nothing. There's just a blank cell. These create huge, silent gaps in your story. And the big problem here is that a computer doesn't know how to interpret nothing. It just knows the information is gone. So when you spot these blanks, you can't just brush past them. You have to actively decide what they actually mean. Do you just axe the entire row and lose the rest of that perfectly good data? Do you replace the blank with an average, kind of an educated guess? Or do you hit pause and investigate why it's missing before you start cooking up your analysis? That's a critical decision you have to make every single time. Moving right along, the second disaster is duplicates. Man, these are the sneaky culprits of the data world. They quietly slide into your dataset and secretly double count information without you even realizing it. On the surface, everything looks structurally sound, but the underlying reality is fundamentally distorted. For instance, if the exact same customer order gets recorded twice in your system, think about the ripple effect. It falsely inflates your revenue. It pumps up your customer counts, your total orders, the whole shebang. If you don't catch it, you're going to end up presenting these wildly optimistic but entirely fake business insights. You'll be popping champagne for a record sales month when really your database was just stuttering.
Our third disaster is inconsistent formats. This is literally like trying to follow a baking recipe that randomly swaps between metric and imperial measurements halfway through. It is pure chaos for the person, or the AI, trying to follow along.
And let's face it, human beings are messy. We enter varying dates like having Jan 1st spelled out in one row, but 0101 in the next. Or inconsistent casing, maybe an extra space accidentally tacked on to the end of a word. To us, McDonald's with a capital M and McDonald's all lowercase is clearly the exact same company. But to your AI model, those are 2 totally distinct businesses, which will completely wreck your totals and groupings.
The fourth and final major disaster happens deep down at a systemic level: wrong data types. This is basically a fundamental misunderstanding between you and the machine, where the system completely misinterprets the actual type of data you're feeding it. Say a number or a date gets accidentally stored in the database as just a string of text. You are in deep trouble, because you literally cannot add, subtract, or properly sort text. You can't ask a system to calculate the sum of 2 words. When this happens, it brings your AI models and predictive analytics to a grinding, screeching halt.
So how do we fix this? Let's look at the 6-step cleaning recipe. This is your ultimate prep work guide, a checklist you should run through every single time you open a dataset. 1. Check for missing values. 2. Hunt down those sneaky duplicates. 3. Standardize your formats so the computer can actually read them. 4. Verify your data types. Make sure your numbers are actually numbers. 5. Check for unusual values or crazy outliers. And finally, 6. Validate the final data. Boom! You've eliminated the bugs before the real analysis even begins.
To wrap things up, let's talk about the foundation of truth.
It all comes down to mindset. Data cleaning isn't just some tedious chore you have to suffer through to get to the fun stuff. It is the bedrock of good analysis. If your data is wrong, your incredibly advanced AI models are wrong. Simple as that. Your answer can never, ever be better than the data behind it.
So, the next time you open a brand new dataset, I want you to stop before you start visualizing. Ask yourself, are you willing to put in the crucial prep work up front to ensure your final dashboard is a masterpiece of truth? Are you ready to clean your ingredients? Because, honestly, that's what separates the amateurs from the experts. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.